Hello, my fellow seekers. I hope that this video finds you well and that you're doing a much better job of thinking than I am right now. Hello, my fellow seekers, artists, creatives. How are you doing today? Or I should say tonight. I finally have a moment of calm to speak to you all about something that is probably uniquely Southern California as far as I know, but it's the seasons. We don't have any. It is winter right now. The lowest I think it's gotten here is about 39 degrees, almost freezing. And that's probably about as cold as it's going to get where I live. The reason why I wanted to talk about the Southern California and not having seasons is because I realized that the passing of time without having a definitive winter, spring, summer, fall, the time tends to blur. Now, I am a mother, and a lot of my kids' lives I have spent without the concept of time. You know, they'll remember something, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, you were only like 6 or 7, right?" They're like, "Mom, I was like 9 or 10." I was like, "Okay, I'm so sorry. Excuse me." But it got me thinking about how much time passes us by and we don't notice. And now human brains can only hold so many memories and only hold so much. And that's on purpose. You know, we can't remember every minute of every day. But there are important things that happen that I really feel should be remembered and should be remembered accurately. So, this is why a few years ago I decided that I was going to start romanticizing the seasons, given that I don't have any. Romanticizing the seasons basically means that you're going to take winter, spring, summer, fall, and you're going to do all of the things that celebrate it. So for winter right now, I don't really have access to snow. I mean, I could drive to it. It's about 2 hour, 3 hour drive. But who wants to do that? Uh, unless I'm going to stay in a cabin and be cozy and do the whole snowboarding experience and everything. But for winter, I can bring the winter inside. So after the Christmas decorations have gone down, and after we've swept up the pine needles and taken all the red and the green, like what are you left with, you know? So I started decorating in light blues. So whites and light blues and soft colors, and I would decorate with books that have their spines turned out, so all the pages are white. Um, I would buy scented candles that reminded me of winter. And then I would go throughout the seasons. So spring I'll decorate in yellows and greens and purples. And then summer it would be like a bright teal aqua or like a peach that reminds me of like, you know, Mai Tais on Hawaii, or and then fall, which is my favorite season of all. I go all out. I do the browns and the reds and the golds and the pumpkin spice and the apples. I'm an apple girl. I love apple pie, apple cider, apple anything. I love apples. Basically, my reason for decorating for the seasons and bringing the outside in is to make you more aware of the passing of time. So I know a lot of us don't particularly like a season, usually winter, because it's cold and it's depressing and we have to slow down and we really have to take introspection of ourselves. And it's really hard to do that when you're faced with long cold days in the house and maybe your food options aren't quite as plentiful because the grocery store is covered in snow. Or it's just seasonal depression. I know that I suffer from SAD, which is seasonal affectiveness disorder. So in the fall and in the wintertime,
I found myself getting a lot more depressed, a lot more morose, a little bit more melancholy. It was a little bit harder to find the happiness. But over the years, I trained myself to find the happiness in those times. And part of that was learning to celebrate what is good about those seasons. For the fall, I, of course, learned that I love to cook with the fall. I love the colors of fall. And even though it's the weather is a little colder, and I can feel that depression wanting to set in, I immediately counteract it with doing a fun scented candle, or I will do a coloring page in the reds and the greens, or um, I'll go take a walk and I will collect some leaves or some flowers and I'll actually press them in the pages of a book. So that way, when I next read that book, it's a surprise. Um, and it's a nice memory that I have. And of course, sharing these things with people, sharing these memories with people, a pet, even your kids, of course, anybody, it always makes it funner. Yes, I know funner is not a word. So I've been told. I'm making it a word. It's a word. Moving on. So, if decorating is not your thing, there are other things that you can do to bring the seasons into your home. There are seasonal wallpapers that you can put on your phone or your TV or your computer. There are also some fun activities that you can do over the course of the season. You can play bingo, for instance. Um, One of the YouTube channels that I watch, they came up with this idea, and it's nothing like groundbreaking or new, but it's really fun to do. So they'll make little squares, and in each square they'll have a different activity that they want to try to achieve during the season. So if it's springtime, they want to plant flowers, or they want to go to the lavender festival, or they want to knit some flowery looking socks or something like that. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat. But it's really fun to kind of tick off the boxes and um, just make it fun, make it a game. You know what else that does, right? Keeps you in the moment, keeps you looking forward to things. It keeps your mind in the moment. You see what I did there? Gift giving is also an entirely acceptable, and I encourage it, pastime to do for seasons. Giving them to coworkers for no reason. I always love it when I am surprised with a random present. Surprise somebody with a gift. So a lavender sachet, or you can get them a mixed drink kit, like vodka martinis or something, um, that you can make yourself. Attending seasonal festivals. Like in the fall, there are a bunch of corn mazes that I think that people can go to. Or at the beach one year, they hosted this um, it was a sandcastle building contest, but it wasn't just castles. Like you can make anything. This one couple, I remember me and my kids helped them. They made a Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street, and we were hauling pails of water to them, and we were finding like rocks and seaweed for hair, and it was the most fun thing to do. It was great. Or there's a strawberry festival in the summer for some places. A lot of places do like night movies where they'll project a movie onto a screen, and they serve popcorn and pizza, and that's like a summertime thing. Um, yeah, look for those things. Oftentimes, if they're free in your city or somewhere nearby, at least I hope so. Um, if not, then go out there and make it yourself, because why wouldn't you? I mean, it's awesome, right?
There's a really great channel, a couple of them actually, that really got me into this idea. And one of them is Darling Desi. She's the most magical person on this planet. I highly recommend if you want a good, like, video tutorial on how to fully maximize and romanticize the seasons, please go watch her, Darling Desi. Another channel that I really admire is Morgan Long. She has a very soft and gentle and whimsical manner, but she also romanticizes the seasons, and she's very honest about her journey going through that. It's important that you find the time to just enjoy even like 5 minutes of your day. And if that means that you change out your pillow covers to something that's, a little bit more fun, a little bit more in season, or if you cook seasonally, or if you want to change out your pictures to reflect the seasons, like that is small little changes that will not only refresh your house, but it's something that you can look forward to every season. And I think it's important, especially for people that do not celebrate holidays or that, like me, don't have seasons. It's those things that I think are going to help you in the long run to stay focused and stay present. Not all the time, obviously. We're humans and we're busy and we have worries and fears and anxieties and commitments. But just the little things, you know? Another reason that I wanted to start celebrating the seasons is because there are a lot of holidays and traditions from other countries that I want to explore. You hear about the holidays like Kwanzaa, or um, you hear about the Festival of Lights in India, or you hear about the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year, and like you hear these terms and you hear these things, but you don't actually know what they are or what they entail. That's one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to explore different seasons in different countries. Like, to me, it's wild to think that right now in Australia, they're in the heat of summer and they have their vegetables growing and they have beautiful, bounteous flowers. But I'm sitting here like cold. That's cool, but it's just not something that you think about. Also, there's the weird like national little holidays, like Pi Day, which is March 14th. And then there's Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you, so May 4th. But if you look online, there are actually a lot of really weird little holidays that you can celebrate and just dip your toe in. There's National Ice Cream Day, Spaghetti Day, there's National Gumdrop Day, there was National Slam Dunk Day. Like, there's a ton, and there's some for every single day of the year. I thought that's kind of cool. A little daunting to do every single day, but I mean, if it's Bake Cookies Day, then bake the darn cookies. You know what I'm saying? And then there's also a lot of the awareness. They're not exactly like holidays, but February is Black Awareness Month, a Black History Awareness Month. And then next month, I believe, is Women's History Month. And then I think there's also Pacific and Asian Month. There's also Autism Awareness. There's all of these holidays, or they not holidays, uh, months, I guess, that you guys can, that we all can learn from, that we can all learn more about. There's volunteering, I'm sure, for some of them. Um, just something to get out of your brain, something that gets you into the moment, into the present, and makes memories and gives you ideas for now, gives you creative and artistic ideas for now. Um, and I think it's important to actually catalog that. The reason why I want to celebrate these is because it keeps me anchored to the present. And I think it's important as a creative, as an artist, as an introvert, not to get too caught up in the future. Like, what's going to happen in my future? How can I plan for my future? Like, we're always worrying about the future, or the past. Like, what I shoulda, woulda, coulda done, or losing yourself in memories of the past. We need to be present. We need to be here. We need to notice the things.
Another thing that goes hand in hand with remaining in the moment and being present is to actually catalog it, to actually write it or draw it or save a little piece of it in your treasure box. That's the point, is you're supposed to be here and remember this moment. It is a learning tool. It is a memory that you can keep, but also it is a promise to yourself and your future self that I was here. I fully embraced this moment. I smelt it, tasted it. I saw it. It was mine. And now I can remember what that feeling was like. And as creatives, as artists, sometimes we have to take inspiration from books or from other artworks, or we have to guess at things. But the more that you experience in the now, the more that you go out and explore, the more that you experience life, the more you don't have to guess. And the more that you learn and you can add to your repertoire of memories and senses. So you the more that you know, the more that you know. But you need to make sure that you can come back to those feelings, come back to those memories, come back to those pieces of work that you did in that spring of 2004, in that summer of 2013, in that winter of 2036. And you can remember at least one thing that you did, that you ate, that you felt, that you saw, that you got emotional about, because life is a collection of moments and you don't want to let them pass you by. You don't want to have years of your life like I did when my kids were little, where I was so overwhelmed with stress of being a new mom and worrying about things and worrying about the future and worrying about the past and worry. You want to be able to have those moments that ground you. So it's important not only to be present, but to make sure you record the things. Make a YouTube channel.
I really feel that it's important, especially in this society who is so media based and it is so quick videos. Attention span is 30 seconds. So much of our time is spent in front of a computer or a screen. So there we are. That's my little spiel about seasons and seasonal celebrations. I do have some fun little creative endeavors, little challenges coming up. Um, that should be pretty fun and that you can participate in as well if you so choose. Um, so I do hope that you consider um, doing a little decor refresh or doing a little painting for your wall about the seasons or writing a poem or baking the darn cookies with seasonal ingredients. No, something. Something to keep you in the moment, to keep you present, um, so that way you can celebrate it. All right? I'll see you later. Have fun. Create all the things. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah? Oh, the nuzzles. The nuzzles. The kitty. Hi. What a face.